这，唉，什么队友啊，真是。
我这边可以吗？
能不能行？我说连线，然后说连，那到底那也得先上了再连呀！烦，受不了这气。
那个王晨那边，我这边只能看到你脸的上半部卡住了吧？还是你那边那个
哪个？
不太对啊？
不是啊。
对，好像在你嘴这边给卡住了，就说镜头。
我还要发一条直播延迟的消息吧。
真的有人进来，你们快走吧，我们一会儿要工作了，一点都不好玩的直播。现在快速的。么么哒。
开始吗？还是什么？
哎，他那个评论里可以放链接吗？
我看一下，那个链接在哪儿呢？应该可以，但是不知道能不能点。
哦，曹老师上了，
我在。
我来连线一下。
到。
吃
饭吧。
忙直播了。
你啊？一会儿到办公室来。
OK。
我们今天中午来吃午饭啊。
大家好，Hello。Today we're going to launch the testnet of Usechain. So in this step, we are trying to test the latency and the energy efficiency, and also in the later stage we'll try to test sharding. As you know, Usechain, we are trying to make sure the blockchain technology is consistent with the regulation of various governments. So want to have people involved and try out the testnet, and then if you can find bugs, we will give you awards. And we're also trying to build the ecosystem for the Usechain. Basically, all developers or and companies, if they're interested in adding the blockchain technology to their system to increase trust among various agents, we can help them to build up the system and have them help them to distribute the tokens, and also to encourage the loyalty program, the sharing economy, and the financial services can also be tested on the testnet. Just 1 minute. Sorry about that. So essentially, we're in this system. We are going to first test the certifying authority step. So each person can log in and upload his credentials, and then the certifying authority is going to give out a index number for that person, and that index number will using the ring signature cryptography to be linked to a public address on the testnet. So this completes our mirror identity protocol for each person. This means that each individual, they have a mirror identity on the Usechain, but their own private information still stay off the chain. And there's a one-to-one correspondence between the public address on the Usechain and a person's identity. However, his identity information is always off the chain. So this way we can keep the privacy for each individual, but at the same time, if there is any illegal activity on the Usechain, the government can trace the person and find out who it is and take legal actions. So that's the first part. The second part is the randomized proof of work. Because each person has a one-to-one correspondence, we are able to to use a new algorithm. So have the using the randomized verified random number function to generate a random number for each individual, and then we're going to use this algorithm to assign a random numbers each person. At any time, there will be about just one individual will be doing the mining. So that way, it's much faster. We call this a randomized proof of work approach. Right now, at the testnet, the speed is about 300 transactions per second. Later on, we are going to implement an advanced algorithm, so we can reach about 3,000 transactions per second. So our property in terms of its speed, efficiency, and scale is similar to US. However, we are much more decentralized because each individual has a chance to mine the block, while in the case of US, you have about 21 super nodes. They are the block producers, and they take turns to generate the block. So the key difference is, in our case, the mining is decentralized, while in US, the mining is centralized. So this way, our system is more robust, more secure, and less sensitive to manipulations or corruption by the centralized mining. Based on this, we can implement our system and introduce the decentralized applications for the companies or enterprises to help improve trust in terms of like apartment sharing, house sharing, or car sharing. In all this sharing economy where trust is required, we can use our technique. And also in financial services, where you need to know your customer, need to implement anti-money laundering procedure, and our infrastructure will help financial services to do that. And so our Usechain can be used for stablecoin, for exchanges, for loan, the asset management, wealth management, all this insurance, and so on. So right now, our timeline is to we have started the launch of the testnet, and in the end of the year, we will complete the testnet, and also have more public test for the first 3 months of the next year. And we plan to launch the mainnet by the end of March next year. So in the meantime, we are trying to help people and have companies to join the ecosystem and to build up the use space for our blockchain. Okay, sorry about the delay. Regarding the when will use be migrating from Ethereum to Usechain, we plan to do that in about in March. So each address will be corresponding to a new address on the Usechain, and then all the coins will be moved over, including Use and Qs. We also have corresponding coins like corresponds to Bitcoins or Ether on the Usechain. So you can trade between Use and the Qs with respect to BTC, Bitcoin, and Ether. All right, so the Usechain, the main advantage versus the Ethereum is we are more consistent with the regulations of the authority. So basically, we want to make sure that all the transactions conducted on the Usechain is consistent with the current legal system. In addition, our the speed and scale and energy efficiency will be much better than Ethereum. So these are the main advantages versus Ethereum. Respect to US, the properties will be similar, except our system is much more decentralized and more consistent with more proper and consistent with financial regulations for financial services. The timeline will be, we are trying to expand our user base, not only the users who are interested in using the coins, but the ecosystem. So we want corporate users to use our infrastructure to create a sharing economy using Usechain. So after using the mirror identity protocol and the randomized proof of work, we hope that we can increase the user not only in China but also globally. So we are encouraging the global programmers try to find any bugs in the system, and then we'll provide awards for people who have found out any security concerns in the Usechain. The parameters are still under consideration, and we plan to do some competition in October and November. This will have two parts. The first part will be for the programmers to find out any bugs. The second is if anyone can use our technology, use Usechain as the basis to write some decentralized apps. If we can help you to implement these apps. Even if we have problems in the decentralized apps, we can, if the proposed app have some kind of creativity or originality based on the recommendation of a committee, will still give out awards, either in terms of token or in terms of options. In the testnet, will encourage people to try to be miners or to send out transactions. If these transactions are completed, and we're going to have give out some awards for people who are actively involved in the testnet. So this will encourage the expansion of the user base for Usechain. There are also some questions about the committee who maps the index of the identity to the public address. The committee will be staggered, so we have planned to have about 9 members. The members each member will have a term of about 3 to 5 years, and then we'll have an election for the committee. So this can avoid any corruption in the committee to who is going to know the map between the index number and public address. There's also some concern about the privacy. As I mentioned, that the identity is always off the chain, but the public address is on the chain. The mapping between the public address and the identity is composed of 2 parts. One is the authorizing, the certifying authority. The second is the public address management committee. These 2 parts are supposed to be isolated so that there's no communication between these 2 parts, and this way we can make sure individuals' privacy is protected. But if the legal authority wants to find out who the person is, they can go through the committee and also the certifying authority to find out the individual. So this way we are able to generate transparency for the government, but at the same time privacy for individuals. One more thing I'll mention is that we are trying to get into Korea in terms of the the exchange and also the user base, because as you know, Japan and Korea, they are very active in the blockchain research. So in October and November, we'll focus on Korea, and also the HIP BTC has lots of loyal customers in Europe. In December, we plan also to get into Europe and try to expand our base in the European market. We have some more questions here. First is what makes Usechain faster than Ethereum? Does it mean that Usechain more centralized? The key difference is we have identity, but identity is the knowledge of the identity information is dispersed among various agencies. So this way is still decentralized. Because of this identity, we're able to increase the speed and the efficiency at the same time it remains decentralized. So that's a key advantage of our approach versus Ethereum. Is the hidden identity. That's you have identity on the Usechain, but still the identity information itself is off the chain. But there's a index number is crypto is encrypted, and then that's on the chain. What's the plan for the future application of the decentralized applications? We plan to work with various agencies to build the decentralized applications together. So any person or enterprises that have an idea or a project that want to use the blockchain, then we can help them to provide the infrastructure and the technology know-how and try to build up the dApps together. This including car sharing, the house sharing, medical records, and also the financial services, including insurance, the stable coin, wealth management, exchanges, brokerage, asset management, and also the lending and the commercial banking. Will the commission become a centralized organization? This mapping between the index number to the public address is controlled by different people in the committee, but the committee, they are dispersed agents, and they are replaced from time to time. And also all they know is the mapping between the index number and the public address. They still do not know the identity of the individual. Only using the index number and in combination with that of the knowledge of the the certifying authority, the person's identity can be found out. So this way, we believe that it's not likely to become a centralized organization. The performance right now is about 300 transactions per second. It's actually will help lots of transactions. So basically, you can on average, in about 1 minute, you get a response. In the future, we plan to implement a new system where right now in the basic setup, we still have people calculating the hash numbers. In the future, we plan to simply use the sortition based on the identity. When we implement that system, we can reach about 3,000 transactions per second. And that should be ready in about the end of this year. Will identity verification give away privacy? As I mentioned, that the identity is always off the chain. It's just like you have your identity with the bank, with the credit agencies, with the exchange. The identity information itself will never be on the chain. Only an index number affiliated with that information will be on the chain. So that way, the privacy is still kept. Right now, we have officially worked with the HitBTC, HITBTC, and KuCoin. So these are the best two exchanges. KuCoin is very convenient to use for people in Asia, including China. HitBTC is more convenient for people to use in Europe. We have some other exchanges like OLX. They list our options, Qs, and also USE. BLACC, Cornell, HiBTC all list our coins. Those are not authorized. so you have to use them with caution. You can still mine use basically, but the requirement is much lower in terms of technology. So basically, a laptop can be used to mine use just like the early stages of Bitcoin. The ASIC right now can still help out, but the software we use, the algorithm we use, is relatively ASIC resistant. Later on in the testing stage, by the end of this year, we plan to use a algorithm based on sortition. So basically, the person who is selected will be mining the coin. So in that case, the ASIC will not be useful unless that the person who was selected to mine the coin is not online or did not mine the coin on time. Then you can still use the machine to mine the coins. However, the impact of the computational power will be much limited in Usechain. Well, you can go to usechain.net, and then you can register and send in the information to the certifying authority, and then after you are approved, you can be starting to do the test and then mining the test coins. And in the future, the test coins can be exchanged for Qs, but the ratio is still under consideration. We'll let you know when we have further information. So let me see if any more questions. We also have a Usechain dApp. We're working on that very soon to come out, hopefully in a few months, maybe in 3 months. We have a Usechain lab to help out the incubating programs using our infrastructure where the off-chain identity is required. And we also plan to form a token fund to invest in projects that use our Usechain. The program developers community, we will do that globally, including Silicon Valley, Europe, and Asia, and any people who make contributions to the technology of Usechain will be awarded. And in the ecosystem, as you know, the Cheung Kong Graduate School of Business is the top business school in China. We have lost about 14,000 alumni who are leaders in various enterprises in China, and we'll work with the alumni closely. In terms of getting on the system, right now we actually support Windows, Linux, and the operating system can be downloaded directly on the GitHub. If you have any questions, just ask our the Usechain staff directly, and they will give you the right information. Right now you can use like a laptop, but if your system is linked to any money machine, you can use that as well. We have softwares helping you to do that, but the impact of the computational power, as I said, is relatively limited. So basically now today is a very important date for Usechain. We hope to have more people get involved. As you know that the Usechain design is very different from other blockchains. And the key difference is, first, we try to be comply with financial regulations, in particular the KYC and AML procedure, so that the blockchain will be useful for financial services. As you know, financial services is regulated everywhere. In addition, there are many applications that requires identity: your medical records, your legal records, the house sharing, car sharing, and any other sharing economy where trust is important. So the unique advantage of Usechain is that we are able to find the trade-off between the anonymity and identity. So we have the identity information of the chain, but on the chain, the public address is still anonymous. Okay. We hope to expand our user base. As you know, the blockchain is a big part of it is based on community. So we want our community to be active in helping us together work out the technology and building up the ecosystem. This is a global program. It's not just in Asia, but also in North America, in Europe, in Africa. We want to get everyone benefit from this idea. So essentially, we want the Usechain to provide the basic engine for financial services in blockchain, and also to build trust in the community in the sharing economy. The more people use Usechain, it will be more useful. So hopefully we can increase the user base to about 10 million next year, and then it will be benefit more enterprises. All right, so if I don't have any more questions, we'll conclude. But we plan to do more of this broadcasting more regularly in the future to improve the interactions between the project and our user base. And I want to thank the community for making this possible. We know that this is a very long bear market, but it's also a time to really sit down and focus on the technology and get people to understand what blockchain is all about, how it can help the society, can help the make the transactions easier and faster and cheaper. I also want to thank our team for using both the Chinese and English broadcasting, and we have all been working very hard to make this possible. I want to thank you all. Okay, bye-bye.